Hello everyone and welcome back into the channel. Guys, in this video I'm going to explain to all of you why do I think Bitcoin is going to go to $131,993.65, okay? As for those of you that are here for the first time, as you guys know, we are massive investors, not just in cryptocurrency, but of course in the stock market, okay? Just a quick brief for those of you that are here for the first time. This channel, guys, we are based in three things, okay? Which it is stocks, which leads us to dividend, of course derivatives, which lead us to the LTI club, which it is a long-term investing, and of course crypto assets, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and of course some of the altcoins that we love. I'm talking about here Pulse Chain, Pulse X, what else, our Cardano, Avalanche, and so on, okay? But mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum. These are the main holdings of our portfolio. But I believe, remember, why now? Pretty much the reason why Bitcoins go the way up here, guys, this is just out of thin air, because remember the Fed hasn't even cut rates properly, because remember in 2020 when we had the zombie virus, we had a massive recovery. The rate was pretty much at zero. Now we're talking about here 4 point something, and the reason why I think Bitcoin is gonna go even higher than 133,1K, it is, guys, when you start to see a massive cut in rates. And don't forget, Jay Powell has his things with the Fed, blah blah, to I think 2026, whatever. And if we see any change, something more flexible, blah blah blah, in terms of cutting rate, Bitcoin might also have a massive up run, which it is all the way up here to roughly 167. If we do see 2 or 3 more rate cuts in 2025, I don't see why not we're going past 131. This is a very conservative scenario, because in the long run, if we see rates come down and inflation stay as it is right now, I don't see why not you're reaching this value here by the end of 25. And I think for those of you that have your portfolio like we do in this channel, like I said before, dividends, LTI, okay, which means derivatives and cryptocurrency, these are the 3 things that we have in our portfolio. You can do this thing here as you like, 30, 50, 20, or you can do, let's say, 40, 50, and 10. It doesn't matter. But of course, no financial advice, but piece of your portfolio in cryptocurrency, it is these days a must have. If you don't have anything in your portfolio in relation to cryptocurrency, I'm sorry, I don't know which kind of cave you've been living for the past few months, okay? And Bitcoin and Ethereum are those 2 main ones that we hold in our portfolio. And of course, after that, we have our play things which other altcoins, like I mentioned to you guys before, Pulse Chain, Pulse X, Avalanche, Cardano, Polygon, and so on, okay? And then we have your VeChain, Hedera, and so on. There's plenty, guys, plenty. Pick your poison, okay? But the main ones, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum is gonna pretty much make the majority of your portfolio. But I believe even if we stay as it is, if inflation stays as it is, and if the Fed doesn't cut rate, I don't see why not in 2025 we see Bitcoin at roughly $131,993 and of course 65 cents. Okay, mark my words. Are we going to go down a straight line? Maybe. Anything's possible when it comes to cryptocurrency, but I believe in that, let's say in the worst case scenario for 2025, it is this number here. Am I telling you guys to buy all the way up here? No, do whatever you like, because the thing is, if you follow this channel, guys, look, we bought Bitcoin at 64 at the all-time highs, just for the case study. But look at this. If you buy the all-time high and if you don't have any more, my friend, like I always used to say, buying power, dry powder to keep lowering base cost, do not bother. See you later, alligator. It's too late for you. But if you do like we did here, I think I got even here. Let me see if I go back to this thing here. Let me show you guys. Right, this is our Discord group. For those of you that are still part of the Discord group, thank you very much, guys. Get in touch on a private channel, okay? Let me see if I have here so I can show you guys Bitcoin. So here we go. Bitcoin, the first one that we bought was at the all-time high. Let me see if I have here. 64. I don't know, it's 64. Yeah, 64, as you guys can see, okay? $64,492.97. But look at this, okay? If I go back here, look at this. Even myself buying something at the all-time high for education purpose only, because I was showing everyone the power of DCA. Look at this. With DCA over here, with DCA over here. Okay, did we pick the bottom? No, that was just luck. That's it. Just the power of DCA. Someone that bought here is make more money than someone that, let's say, bought here and sold here. Why? The power of DCA. And Bitcoin and Ethereum, I believe DCA for the long term, guys, that's the way to go. How long is you're gonna hold? It's up to you. But DCA is the only way to go. I'm not saying to you guys to buy at the all-time highs, because if you haven't bought in this pullback, haven't bought here, haven't bought here, haven't bought here, I'm sorry, my friend. I don't even know why you are interested in cryptocurrency anyway, because you're supposed to be interested all the way down here and not at this level. But if you're watching this video, if you were to get your feet wet at the all-time highs, as always, you must to have a lot of dry powder. Otherwise, not a chance. You're going to hold a massive bag for a while. But if you want to hold a massive bag like we did here with the mentality of DCA, there's nothing wrong with that. Even the stock market, that's how it works. Doesn't matter if you buy up at the all-time highs, or the lows or the average, okay? Like dividends, for example, our portfolio is to accumulate as much as we can of SCHD, SCHG, and what else? JEPQ, okay? That's my goal. I don't care what price it is. I don't care less. I want to accumulate as much as I can so the portfolio eventually can bring us 50K per year. That's the short-term goal, which you're gonna achieve that very, very soon. Very soon, I mean, it's like probably a year or 2 years, something like that. But the long run is to get this thing here per month. That's why to keep buying, pretty much like what Michael Saylor's saying, okay? The only difference here is I'm not gonna tell you guys to go and sell your house and get a loan to buy cryptocurrency. No way, Jose, okay? But with money you can afford to lose. And when it comes to Bitcoin, kind of, yeah? Kind of. Because if you put the Bitcoin price, what else? The property price, houses, all this kind of stuff with all the costs, tenants, bills, walls that broke, toilet that broke, guys. Bitcoin is the way to go. I'm sorry, okay? But you don't get yield. Of course you do, because if you buy a property, and even the stock market, if you buy some stocks, you get 10% yield. Guys, in price appreciation of Bitcoin, you can beat this thing here 10 times, 20 times. That's the yield you get, okay? But anyway, cut this video short. This is just one of the videos that we're going to put on a daily basis more often, okay? Now that I got everything sorted out in my private life, I believe, guys, in 2025, that's the price of Bitcoin. Very, very possible. When we're gonna get there, I don't have a clue. How we're gonna get there, I don't have a clue. But with the long term in mind, and make sure, like I always used to say, and I keep repeating myself, the strategy never change. Keep doing your DCA on those things that you believe. It doesn't matter if you buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, if you buy JEPQ ETF, if you buy SCHD ETF, DCA and building your stack over time is the way to go, okay? Just a 2 cents here of my thoughts when it comes to Bitcoin and why I believe it's going to go all the way up here. Remember, keep an eye on the Fed, guys. The Fed is the main thing, because right now liquidity, it is very dry. But once you start to see pumping money into the economy, because right now, guess what? People barely scratch their ass to pay the rent, let alone to buy cryptocurrency. But once you see the massive liquidity back to the market, I don't see why not people start to floating a little bit more with some risk assets, especially cryptocurrency, okay? But let's say a return of 131K, it's very, very obvious and very, very possible, because we're talking about here like what? Look at this, 20% more. We can get this in a couple of weeks, okay? But I've been very conservative. But the best case scenario, my educated guess is for, let's say, 54%. If we see those 2-3 rate cuts, okay? If you're not, I don't see why not to getting here to 32K, let's call this, and or 168 if we do 2-3 rate cuts. If we do, and of course, if the inflation stay as it is. I hope it best. It's just my 2 cents. For those of you that hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, if you love dividend invest, long-term invest, guys, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, right? All the best, stay safe, and happy investing.